All right, welcome everyone back to HealthySimulation.com's coverage of IMSH 2025. My name is Lance. I'm the founder CEO of HealthySimulation.com. Sitting next to Matt Marino, who is the president, CEO, what is it? CEO of Education Management Solutions, who I believe were the exclusive platinum sponsor this year of IMSH 2025. And if I'm hearing going around, they're telling us that this is another record-breaking year here for the showroom floor. So we really are excited that the community continues to grow and develop it here, and I know that's awesome for you guys too to be able to support the organization in that capacity. So Matt, first, tell us a little bit about what's exciting from Education Management Solutions here at IMSH 2025.
That's great. I appreciate it. Always fun to sit down with you and have a conversation and
Absolutely.
catch up. This year for us, really where we're focused in is we have continued in the past year, two areas that we've seen tremendous growth and demand. The first being mobile solutions, things that can continue to, as the world of healthcare is evolving outside of that traditional clinical setting,
Right.
we should be able to train our clinicians in the way that they're going to actually practice and perform. So our mobile solutions have continued to have a real impact. And this year we launched them last year on the Apple platform.
Okay.
Android this year. So we've
great.
now got it going across, and that's really applicable. In the first 8 months of really launching these, they're operating in Japan, Africa, the Middle East. They're all over the place. And we had that demand to switch a little bit more and add that Android platform. So we've done that.
Good.
We've continued also to expand upon, competency-based education's everywhere right now, and it's becoming more and more important. We've continued to evolve that. So not only applying to what you would see in the academic setting, but directly with the workforce as we are going down that path. So how can we help with onboarding? How can we help with putting people in the right specialty area? How can we make sure that when our provider partners, they have the right people working in the right jobs? So that's another area that we've continued to focus on. Those are our two main areas that we are really excited about this year as we move forward.
Well, I know we just wrapped a webinar earlier this week. It was one of our most attended webinars ever with y'all, and it was so exciting to kind of understand about how we could have these deployable touch points that you could put anywhere within that clinical environment, right, inside to, and then bring all that data back and then look at competency at scale, either at the micro level per learner or at the macro level for a cohort or for a whole group. So really excited about how EMS is continuing to deploy those unique technologies. Now, of course, outside of the medical simulation space, inside the medical simulation space, AI, artificial intelligence, it's a buzzword, it's everywhere. So I'm really curious, how are you guys looking at that at a corporate level within your, operational infrastructure? And also, how do you see that playing a role within clinical simulators and clinical simulation kind of audio-visual devices and competency devices and more?
Certainly. I think it's if I had a dime for every time I've been asked about AI this year from other partners or anyone else, I'd be a much wealthier man.
Right.
It's fair to say we look at it in a couple different ways. So internally, how can we leverage AI to accelerate our development, accelerate what we're doing in our offerings, whether it's in code, whether it's in when we get requests to add features, we're getting some leverage there.
Right.
I think when you look at the greater world of where it has impact that I believe it does, we're really focused on, I think the most impactful way to leverage it is how can we reduce the technical knowledge you need to be effective in your role. So I see this with educators now where AI is being leveraged to help them create content, help them create scenarios and being able to do it rapidly. Not to give too much away, in the coming week, we're going to make some announcements around some new strategic partnerships that directly deal with this.
Great.
So in the next 7 days, we will have some releases out about some partnerships we're going down the path of. That's going to bring all these technologies together. As you're aware, at EMS, we're a big believer in our agnostic approach, where we take all of those best pieces from those best other organizations that are complementary to us and bring them all into one place. So we're going to have some announcements coming up about that here.
Exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. And, I think I know folks are talking about AI, but this is not going away, right? It's just going to get bigger and bigger and smarter and smarter. And so the cat's out of the bag. And I think any company that's not taking at least a serious kind of consideration at this point is going to be left in the dust. So it's exciting to know you guys are already reaching out to find new partners and new ways to deploy those technologies.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, right, there's some organizations that I think the term AI for a lot of people, they see that as being a very new thing.
Right.
But if we want to get into the different aspects of like machine learning things, it's been around for decades and decades.
Right.
There are organizations that have been working on this for a long time.
Sure.
And it goes back to our philosophy. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel when I can find a partner who's so skilled in it.
Yes.
Those are the people I want to link up with,
Right.
because in the end, what we're out to do
Right.
is create the best possible solutions for our partners. And we find partnerships with other organizations is how we're always most effective.
Awesome.
When doing
We're
that.
stay tuned for that to learn a little bit more in the not too distant future. So outside of AI, what kind of trends or things do you guys see as being really important for the company and for the space right now as we enter into 2025?
I think transition to workforces is one of the most important topics
Yeah,
right now.
I agree.
And we hear about it from our provider partners, and they are asking for help.
Right.
Because the reality is, we're never going to produce enough healthcare professionals that we need based on population demographics, trends, capacities.
Right.
So they are asking, okay, if we know we can't bring in more people, how can we be most efficient and most effective with who we do have?
Yes.
That is a trend that we are locked in on, and I believe we're way out in front on. And we're going to continue to focus on that. And I think that we all need to start viewing the healthcare space as a continuum. So you have your education, but oftentimes education's viewed in one area,
Right.
workforce in the other, but there's a congruency here where it should be one
Right.
flow. And we're really looking, how can we fill that gap that sits in between right there?
Absolutely. I think an important stat for everyone to reflect upon is that almost 80% of the healthcare workforce in the United States is over the age of 40. And so I think in the next decade, you have a lot of folks retiring. They themselves are going to become patients who are going to need more and more care. And I think developed countries are going to be looking around and be like, well, what are the solutions that we can deploy in order to make up for the fact that there's not enough people there? But how can we be more efficient and effective with our process to training? And I think simulation is going to have a huge role to play.
I think it
in all of
has.
that.
I think it is going to be one of the foundational roles. And here's the encouraging thing, because like you, I hear the doom and gloom statistics, and we all get concerned about it.
Yeah.
But there's an awareness that's now been created,
Right.
and I think the healthcare organizations now know that the idea of, well, let's just go get more people, or let's bring people in for periods of time, that model doesn't work. So I believe now the focus on simulation and finding that in the actual workforce space, it's real now, and I think that's really important.
Awesome. Finally, we had the forum here at IMSH 2025, looking to the next 25 years, trying to think about what we need to do as an industry as a whole. What do you in Education Management Solutions see as being an important component or components in order to kind of grow the industry as a whole outside of the folks here that are definitely drinking the Kool-Aid?
So my view on it is that there are many other organizations that are adjacent to the simulation world
Absolutely.
that are dealing with the same problems,
Yeah.
or problems that are congruent to ours.
Yeah.
We need to widen the net here and bring them into the fold. I think
Great.
that's the most important thing that we can do
Right.
now as an industry, is let's not just we are a simulation group, but there's a lot of other healthcare groups out there
Right.
that are focused on the same issues around policy and things like that. We really need to find a way to unite forces
Yeah.
and push forward that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to some patient safety meetings like the Patient Safety Movement Foundations, and they're saying almost the exact same things that we're saying in the healthcare simulation space, but they're saying patient safety instead of medical simulation. So I totally agree with you. I think we need to be able to find ways to bridge more of those kind of relationships and think about a wider conversation. So Matt, thank you so much for taking some time with HealthySimulation.com today, and for all of your support of IMSH 2025. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to these big announcements coming through. So folks, stay tuned for more from Education Management Solutions.